Hi, how is everyone tonight? I'm Mary Amy, and this is Living in the Light. And I'm all about shifting away darkness, guiding you to your true potential, and cracking open that beautiful glowing light in your heart. So, good evening. It's Friday in the Matrix Work Week, February 3rd, for everyone who's joining us. And here we are embarking on the weekend. It's so exciting. Now, hopefully, we can do some fun things and some fulfilling activities and spend some time with some loved ones. And as you can hear, I'm still undergoing this, this cold. But I appreciate you joining me and joining us, this community of living in the light. Now I'm making up because I missed Wednesday. So I said, here I am on a Friday night. Now I don't know who's going to join us because I'm hoping that everyone's out there doing some great activities or just resting, because we're always rushing to do everything, aren't we? Now, as usual, we have topics, and I'm going to mention those, and then I'm going to also speak about what I always do, which is dreams, good intentions, and our thoughts. So tonight we're going to cover topics such as the fourth turning. What exactly is that? Like always, I'm coming up with topics because I'm curious. So I like to kind of go down the rabbit hole and figure it out. And then I share the information with you. So anyone who's joining us, I hope you like the video and subscribe to the channel so others can find us. Also, the Corporation of the United States of America. We are a corporation. White hats, I mentioned those, so we're going to get into that. And clairaudience, which is clair senses, hearing. You're hearing. What are you hearing? We're always practicing. Of course, we're going to mention angels and do some psychic phenomenon exercises. Okay. Any dreams last night? Well, when we were sleeping. But last night, when I came live, I shared with you some of those light codes that I received, which are, I guess you could say they're they're lucid dreams, which are vivid. And we went into downloads and light codes. And as you're ascending, you might be receiving this. You might have these experiences yourself. Now we know that as we are changing, as we are transforming and evolving and becoming the best version of ourselves, we might be undergoing some transformation. And that might be coming through spiritually, emotionally, physically, mentally. And you might have things like ringing in the ears. And it's funny because when I say ringing in the ears, you think it's ringing where it's maybe stop and go. I don't know what you interpret that to be, but it really sounds like when you go to the eye doctor, or you go to a doctor, and they sometimes, it's not an eye doctor, it's about your hearing. So it would be like your general practitioner. When you go to your general practitioner and you listen and you have this hearing test, and it sounds like this, it's like a constant humming or a little bit louder than that. That's what it would be like. And it's not, I know they say tinnitus. That's not what we're referring to. It's this other thing. And it comes through, the ringing will come through when you're being validated, when you're actually, it might be that you're going through a portal, when you're going through a new version of yourself, like you're moving up levels. Because as we're ascending, we are moving up levels. We are achieving a better version of ourselves, and it just so on and so forth. And before you know it, you're going to be in the fifth dimension. And what's the fifth dimension? Heaven on earth. It's the timeline, the fifth 5D timeline. So last night I did mention I'm going to just share with you one or two right now, because I did say it. So last night I shared with you I was getting telepathic messages from extraterrestrials. Go figure. And I was up, there's the papers falling. And I showed you a few, and I'm going to show you a few more. And so this was one that I had, and this was January 6th. Maybe I'll share a few of these every once in a while. So if you can see right here, if you can see that, it was like a 5D look There was planets. One of the planets was red. So I thought, what significance is that? What planet is known to be red? There was also a pyramid. And then around it were all these other colored planets, except the red one was very noticeable. And then, of course, I saw an extraterrestrial, which was a gray alien with big green eyes, humongous green eyes. And then there was light traveling over it. So that was one of them. And then again, I received more of that. More light. And there was this same green extraterrestrial. It looked like a gray alien. It kind of looked like this, except it was a little bit more benevolent looking. This looks a little scary to me. Its eyes were big and green, and its energy came off very welcoming. Now, we've been accustomed since we were born in all of the films out there, maybe television, we've been used to this whole myth or theory that all extraterrestrials are a threat. But the ones that came to me initially, all seemed very benevolent and very compassionate. And that's the energy I was receiving. Did they speak to me? Or did that initially? No, it was more like a visual. Like I said, I think initially when I received these light codes, these downloads, it was to help me to reconcile that there was this as a possibility. Because if I saw something come right up into my face when my eyes were closed, it would be kind of scary. And the way it showed itself to me, or the way it proceeded to show itself to me, was in a very primitive way, a very basic, simple way, very simple. And so I just was very kind of mystified by it and thought, what's this? Just wanted to share that with you. Any dreams last night? I did. I had one dream that was about someone in my life, two people in my life, and it was showing me exactly their personality, so I wasn't deceived by them. Boy, I'm losing my throat, my voice again, aren't I? And so that was one of my dreams. Any dreams that you're having, please share. Please write in the chat and tell me where you're coming from. I updated my list, so I'm not going to be looking all over if you give me your name, where you're coming from, because I felt like I'm really getting used to everyone here, and we're kind of a family of light. Now let me get into your intentions. So every day it would be a great thing to wake up in the morning and have a good intention, which means a commitment to do our best. And I'm recommending that because we can change outcomes, just like we can change outcomes with our thoughts. We can change outcomes with our intention. Because if we embark on a situation, when we get into any situation, it's going to be to our benefit to have hopeful thoughts. We're going to speak about a detachment of our old thoughts after we get on to white hats, because I thought that was an important subject that I just touch on tonight. But letting go of, I guess, the old way of thinking is helpful, and to bring in this new belief system. But you can't do that unless you, like I say, there's a big sack of attachments that you're carrying around that's attached to you, that you're giving it life, and it's taking from you. It's like your energy is being harvested, and everything out there that's dark is feasting on you. So we want to come from a place of love and joy. Now, is that going to happen right away? No, it's not. It's baby steps. It's going to take time for you to get used to everything within you as you tune inward and you realize everything that you're all about. Like when we went down and did the exercise the other day, and we went down and I said, hit your bottom, find your bottom, and let's start at the bottom and fill it up with light. The whole point of that was to actually give you a chance to start over, to begin again. Because like I say, there's a portal, there's a gateway, there's a door, and you're going to travel through it. And you are going to become the best version of you, and more of your real personality is going to come online. And you're going to say, who's that? And after a while, you're not going to really know or remember the old version of you. You're just going to be accepting this new person that you are. And the new person that you are is going to have more positive thoughts, more opportunities are going to come their way, and you're going to be accepting and open to this transition and evolving. It's very exciting. And third, but not least, our thoughts. Our thoughts are very powerful. So everything that we think of, we can manifest, whether it's good, positive, or bad, negative. We can manifest it because we can put so much power behind our thoughts we don't even realize it, especially if you have looping thoughts. If you're thinking over and over again, let's say you have something upcoming and you're stressed about it. Something, maybe it's for work, maybe it's some kind of social engagement. Oh, I'm getting ringing in the ear. And if that happens, you might very well have these looping thoughts and you're trapped and you feel as though you sense you can't get out of your own mind. And it's because you're in a state of panic. So how do we overcome that? Well, we're going to overcome that by calming ourselves down, by not overreacting and not try to overwhelm ourselves by thinking about something that's upcoming. Be in this moment. We want to start by being in this moment. Right here. Here we are in this moment. I'm sitting here before you. It's 7:12 on Friday evening. And look, I can see what's around me, and I'm trying to bring myself to this moment so I don't have anxiety. And I'm letting go of anything that came before this moment. It's not of use to me. It's not serving me. We want to be in this moment because that's how we can manifest. Okay, we can manifest, we can jump timelines by our thoughts, by our belief system. We want to put in this moment everything we want right here in this moment. It's like you want to lift up a page of a book and you slide the information in, slide it in. What exactly do you want in this moment? What is it you want? You don't want to wait 20, 30, 40, 50 years to be happy. You want to be happy right in this moment. We want to have gratitude. That's one way. Another way is by relaxing, meditating, focusing on your breathing. Okay, so let's get into it. Who's this? Craig. Hey, Craig. You know, Craig, you're coming from the UK. Cornwall, UK, right? Hi, Mary. Thanks for doing Friday. I'm really looking forward to from 5D. Yes, I think so. And you know what? I think we're all looking forward to moving on from 3D. And the physical reality is just taking so long. Sometimes I wake up and I say to some of my friends, the solar flash is coming. And they said, when? When is the solar flash coming? I want the solar flash to come right now. Or Nasara Jasara, when is the end of the IRS and the Federal Reserve and taxes? When is that? I did look up today the Federal Reserve Committee, which it's governors, and they meet. And I thought, if I look at what they posted, would there be anything on there about they're just depleting and they're just going to be done and they're not going to exist anymore? Is it just going to end at some point? That's what I'm hoping for. Cross my fingers. So I too am waiting for the 5 dimension. But how can we jump to the 5 dimension when we haven't done these steps to get there? There's some suggestions, some steps to get there, which is about transforming ourselves. Now, you can get there faster if you go to love, love, love all the time. Let's be in love. Let's be in joy. Let's be in forgiveness. Let's be in compassion. If you stay in there all the time, 24/7, you're going to be in the 5 dimension. And I always say, going to the 5 dimension, like we're traveling through the sky. We're not going anywhere. We're existing in this physical reality. It's just going to be an alternate version. So you're going to see things in a different way. You're going to experience everything in a different way, emotionally, physically, mentally, spiritually. And it's going to be more about being at peace. It's going to be more about acceptance. And you will receive light, and it will change you. It will morph you. You will transmute everything within you to another form, to another version of you. It's exciting. Okay, so let's get into it. The 4th turning. Now, I heard that phrase and I said, what is that exactly? The 4th turning. Has anyone heard of the 4th turning before? It was actually came from a book. There was 2 authors, William Strauss and Neil Howe. And they coined the term the 4th turning, the 4th turning. So that means if there's a 4th, there must be a 1st, a 2nd, and a 3rd, correct? That's what I said. What's with the other turnings? And what does that mean exactly? Well, their book is Cycles of History, Next Rendezvous with Destiny, the 4th turning. So in the book, they have predictions. Every 20 years, they believe every 20 years, there's a new generation and it displaces the last one. And we know these phrases. We hear about every 20 years. What is that generation called? And that's what I'm getting to. And it comes from these 2 authors, William Strauss and Neil Howe. And it offers an utterly persuasive prophecy about how America's past will predict its future. So it's basically, how do you kind of deduce by looking at one bit of history, how is it going to the future, what is going to take place in the future? Now, we know here, we've been saying, is this civilization the only civilization that existed ever? I don't think so. I want to tell you, I don't think so. I think that what they do is those that have had all the dominance and the control and the wealth, the kings and the queens and the leaders, and if you want to say the bloodlines, the elite cabal, the something mafia, the K mafia, which I'm not going to say the name, but the K mafia, the deep state, and those that have had wealth, maybe it was from England or across the globe, they seem to have exterminated, they were called parasites that did it, some of these past civilizations. Now, how would we not know that happened? Because the history books keep getting rewritten. And if you go to Wikipedia, if you scroll down to the bottom of Wikipedia, a lot of the pages, if you look up something that's current right now, you scroll all the way down to the bottom of Wikipedia, what does it say? Edited in the last 24 hours, which means they're constantly reevaluating what they want us to know. So all I'm saying, just putting it out there. So basically, the 4th turning means the end of the cycle of the crisis phase, when hero generation entering young adulthood faces off against the prophet generation that is entering adult elderhood. So basically, it's about every 20 years, the old, that thinking, those trends, that culture gets wiped away and a new one comes into place. Kind of feels like we're going through that right now, doesn't it? They're kind of trying to change everything. I mean, everything that I was raised with, which I'm saying was programming and mind control, they're changing it to something else, like eat bugs, one world government, what else? Electric cars. And it's getting forced on us. Medical's getting forced on us. History's getting forced on us. All these different names, they, their, the. You know, are you a they, their, the, or they, their, them? And I guess that's what's going on right now. It's all changing. So most recent fourth turning began with the stock market crash of 1929 and climaxed with World War II. The generation that came of age during the fourth turning was the hero archetype GI generation, which was born 1901 to 1925. That seems like a long time ago for it to be 20 years. I don't know why they're saying that, but whose collective spirit can do optimistic, optimized the mood of the era, the fourth turning. So now in 1997, they've predicted America will undergo the new turning. And they said a fundamental civic and economic transformation of crises starting from 2010 to 2020's crisis and climax. In other words, right now, these authors are claiming they've predicted that we're going to have one of these situations where everything's turning. So the last 20 years, the end of the cycle ends at 2025. So 4 historical turnings: high, the first turning; awakening, which we're undergoing right now, we're awakening, is the second turning; unraveling, the third turning; and crisis is the fourth turning. So right now we're undergoing the fourth turning. And they're calling the next generation in 2024 Generation Alpha. You know, you've heard Generation X, Generation Y, the baby boomers, whatever. So there are 4 transformation types: hero, artist, prophet, nomad. This is just what I researched and found out. Like I said, I put information out there. And I guess it's important to kind of cover even information that those who we don't follow or we don't maybe understand. It's good to know where they're coming from, where their mindset is. I believe that it's more than just this fourth turning. Yes, maybe we've been going through crisis, but I sense that we're headed in, because as you know it, I believe that we're headed to a new civilization, a new reality, and it's going to be beautiful. I don't know how long I'm going to last tonight. I'm just sharing with you, because right now I'm losing it. I need to rest my voice, because when you work, I guess, 7 hours today, then you lose your voice by the end of the day. All right, so let's get right into it. If anyone has any comments, just share them. And I hope you like the video and subscribe to the channel. I've been hearing about how America, the United States of America, is a corporation. So I decided again to kind of drop down into information and figure out what exactly does that mean. So I did. The Corporation of the United States of America. Is the United States of America a corporation? So the U.S. Constitution is a corporate charter. The earliest American colonies were literal corporations of the crown, and we know that, and ruled by limited governments established by their charters of the Constitution is the written charter of a sovereign that ordains and limits a government. Basically, what I was trying to figure out is, does anyone own us? Are we owned by anyone? So basically, the earliest American colonies were corporations of the crown, which means they're an extension of the crown. So what are we an extension of? Are we an extension of, who are we? Are we citizens of America? Are we owned by America? I don't know. So I continue to go down the rabbit hole. A corporation of the people. We are considered a corporation of the people. Well, I like that. However, I don't know if I want to be a corporation. I don't know what was the point of calling us a corporation. That sounds very legal. At the end of the Civil War, Congress passed the U.S. Recognition Act of 1871, structured as a foreign-owned corporation, and it's in capital letters, corporation. So in 1871, it was created a municipal government for the District of Columbia. Is this making sense? Kind of, sort of. So, for example, the USPS, which is the United States Postal Service, is a corporation credited by Congress and does business as the U.S. Post Office. So I guess the United States of America, depending on if it's capitalized or not, is doing business as a corporation or it's doing business as the federal government. So the United States, when it's spelled lowercase letters, this is a little complex, isn't it? Is considered the federal government. But if the United States is spelled in capitals letters, it's considered the corporation. Now you can look up, there's called the Federal Reserve Board of Governors, and they post, and I was looking on their posts today, and I mentioned that a few minutes ago, to see exactly what they were doing. Are they going to absolve the Federal Reserve? I'm hoping. So the end of the Federal Central Bank of the United States or America was created in 1913, a banking cartel that has a government-granted monopoly on the creation of money and credit. The Federal loans money to the Federal Reserve, and notes are paper promises backed really by nothing in intrinsic value, and government forces them and the public through legal lender laws. Like, is it really legal that they ask so much of us? Is it really legal that they're taking our money for taxes? I question all of it. And that's why I think more than just I am, a lot of people are questioning the Federal Reserve and how they can just keep taxing us and taking our money. So it's just something to think about. You know, the United States of America in capital letters or the United States of America in lowercase letters. Which is it? Elsa's right, Hermione's sleeping. That's what I'm going to be doing soon, is sleeping. All right, so in the past, we've gotten onto this whole, I guess, scenario of white hats and black hats. And of course, a white hat is white, is pure good, and black hat is considered something maybe nefarious or a villain, sinister. Wow. I'm apologizing right now. It's a good thing it's tomorrow's Saturday. I can rest. So the white hats are considered admirable and honorable and a symbol of goodness. And I'm bringing up white hats is because we're hearing that the white hats are helping to take down the deep state. They are dealing with crises behind the scenes. And without our knowledge, there are evil actions that are being prevented and persuaded to change. So we don't have to endure something really bad or negative. The white hats are out there protecting us. Now, have I met a white hat? I don't think so. I don't know who they are. We're going to kind of get into that. So a white hat is someone in a particular situation who is acting for morally good reasons. The global cabal, the pedophile rings, the elites, the deep state have plotted against the people of the globe. Now there's what's called, which I didn't really know much about this. I don't know if you've ever heard of this group called QAnon. Okay, so QAnon allegedly was this group, this anonymous group. That's why it's called Q Anon, because it's basically followers of Q and then anonymous followers, supporters. So Q posted cryptic messages. There were clues since October 2017. Now, I don't know much about this. I've heard about it. I'm kind of coming on the back end of it. Anyone who's joining us, I hope you like the video and subscribe to the channel. So I'm bringing this up because this is something that's out there. And I believe because Donald Trump has now said that he's going to run again in 2024, I'm sure we're going to be hearing a lot more about QAnon again. And so the QAnon followers, Q, all this. And what these were these messages sent out since October 2017. And they were from this anonymous person called Q. We don't know who it was. So a reference has been made to the highest level of government security clearance. So QAnon refers to Q plus on a nameless supporter. So there was apparently top secret information, cryptic clues, speculation regarding the identity of Q. And so this is what Q did. Now, I don't know much about this. I have some friends that quote QAnon. I don't know anything about QAnon. I'm just discovering it. I'm going down the rabbit hole to try to figure out what is this, because I love a good mystery. Since I was a kid, I'd say to my English teacher, "Oh, I want a mystery. I want one of those stories that I don't know how it's going to end, and let me see if I can figure it out." And I sense that this QAnon is one of those situations. We might never find out what exactly this is, except there's someone, a group maybe, that is putting out what's called breadcrumbs, and they share with QAnon followers, which public officials are considered. Some of these are considered white hats, and the black hats are the evil cabal. It's like good and evil, and we've been going through a spiritual war, so this makes sense. So the white hats, Q, are fighting back to restore our country and free us from Satan's plan, in quotations. That's what I heard. Again, I'm going to say the white hats, Q, are fighting back to restore our country's freedom from Satan's plan. Now, some of these YouTubers, I watch their videos, and I love them because they're sharing this insider information, and they're talking about how the white hats prevented something really harmful from happening, and they're even saying, I'll tell you a couple of things that I've heard, that the white hats have basically transformed Elon Musk. Is that Elon Musk? Because somehow Twitter went from all this disinformation to now you can basically pretty much more or less put anything up there and you're not getting censored. Although I am still, what's that called? Banned. My numbers go back and forth. So somehow I'm still on this, I'm still under I guess they're preventing me from being fully seen. And shadow banned. I'm shadow banned on Twitter. So Elon Musk, I question that. Then I wonder, where did all these ex-presidents go that were so vocal for a while? We don't see any of them. Then Nancy P stepped down. She retired. And also some of these elite cabal members seem to be they're seeming to be revealed. We're finding out who they are. Now, is it all, hey, music, shadow banned? You're coming from Canada, BC. Yes, so I'm shadow banned. So shadow banned on Twitter means what they do is for example, I think I have, I don't know, 1,300 followers. What they do is they take my number down to 400, so it looks like I don't have any followers. Do I care? I don't care. And also, it happened to me on Facebook and Instagram, where on Facebook I used to get 500 views. Now I get 3 or 4, like 4 views. I'm saying, how is that possible? In one day, it went from everything was 500 views to 4. So whatever, it doesn't matter to me. I don't care. Anyway, my point is about the white hats. My point is that maybe we can cross our fingers and we can hope for the best. Are we looking for a false light or a prophet? No, we're not. We are going to find everything within us. We have the personal power. That's why I give these suggestions, because you have it within you. You're a beautiful being of light. You're highly advanced. You're a worthy being. We're going to remind ourselves that we're a sacred being of light. Everything that you have in your vessel is gold. Doesn't matter what you do. Doesn't matter what you look like. Doesn't matter what material possessions you have. Doesn't matter where you live. You're a beautiful being of light, as is. I want you to look in the mirror and I want you to say, I love myself. I accept myself. I love myself. I accept myself. Maybe take on, hey, the people that need to see your stuff will, regardless. Well, yes, to me, I guess I'm grassroots. I know that I have those out there that are here with us, and those are the ones who are supposed to be here. And maybe it's going to excel, whatever it is, it's fine. I've spent the last 5 years and I've had private clients. So it's been one-on-one. And it's one person at a time, and that's fine with me. I had a client the other day. So it's one person at a time. So let's just be positive that this nefarious action that has been taking a great place across the globe, anyone who is hurting humanity is prevented from doing that in the future. And that's just the thoughts we're going to have. We're not going to dwell on negativity. We're not going to come from a place of crisis, 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 or fear. What is fear? We've spoken about fear. Fear on if you want to say fear on a numerological, wait, what is it? Numerical, on a numerical level, fear is 20. Joy and love is 1,000. We're going to 1,000. Joy and love, joy and love. That's where we're going together. Joy and love. All right, so because I'm losing my voice, really, we're going to get on to detachment of all thoughts and then clairaudience, and we're going to do a psychic phenomenon exercise and move forward. So I'm going to share with you right now, because I think that I'm going to hold this up while we're talking about this, because I think it's super positive. So here's light coming through. Let's spend time in nature, 5 to 15 minutes a day. It's not easy to do. I know that, because when I get up, I walk the dog Elsa for 5 minutes, but am I focused on just enjoying nature? No, I don't have time. Then I come home and then I'm trying to eat something, and who has time? But let's try to spend some time in nature this weekend. If you have any free moments, just sit and put your face in the sun. I'm here in New York. I don't know if I shared with you the weather. Right now, let's see. I'll tell you what temperature it is. I think it's close to, it's 12 degrees right now in my town in New York. And it's supposed to go down to 6 degrees. So that's where I am in New York. It's pretty cold out and windy. It's freezing. Hey, who's that? MR. MR, I heard from you. Hi, MR. Where are you coming from? I thought it started at 7. Sorry, can't watch. Maybe next time. This is 7. 7. Huh. I thought it started at 7. This is 7. Maybe it's the time change. It's Eastern Standard Time. All right. Well, I hope you watch it another time, MR. Thanks for joining us. Hope you like the video and subscribe. So here we go. We're going to detach from our old thoughts to move forward. We want to get to the next level. We're traveling through. You ever go underwater when you're swimming and you just put your hands underwater like this, you're swimming? That's what we're doing. We're kind of pushing away everything from our past. We're not shoving it away. We're just kind of pushing it away gently. And we're detaching from our old thoughts. And where are we going? We're pushing it away and we're moving to a new life, a new way of thinking, a new place of ideas and beliefs, and the truest version of you. Your personality is coming out. So it's new awareness, a perception of yourself and the world, becoming aware, being conscious of external object, state, or facts. So there's 5 states of consciousness: awareness, bias, consciousness, hypnosis, sleep, trance. Now, in the Bible, they call consciousness a knowing beyond knowledge. Now, how can we relate to and get to a new state of consciousness? We can get that through that meditation. We can get that by looking at and becoming more aware of everything around us. Like I've shared with you, when you go into a space, when you go in any place outside of your home or even in your home, try to tune in, have quiet, and become very aware of everything that's existing in the space that you're not really aware of, because we're so used to, what do we see? What do we see? We're not patient, we're not calm, and we're just rushing to the next moment. Let's be in the moment and let's be aware of everything in the space. Do we sense any energies? Do we hear anything? We're going to get into clairaudience. Do we hear anything in the space? I'm hearing sounds outside. I'm hearing some kind of waves, energy coming from my computer. I'm also hearing sounds that are kind of probably not necessarily noticeable because I'm tuning in so much. So the highest state of consciousness is considered a mystical experience, and maybe you can receive a mystical experience because you've had a Kundalini awakening, or you've really done a lot of meditation and you close your eyes and you focus on your breath and you go into a state very meditative and you're traveling to another dimension or another realm. The highest state of consciousness is also a near-death experience, if you've had one of those, or out-of-body experience. Now, the lowest state of consciousness is shame, loathing ourselves and loathing others and considering life to be miserable. That's considered the lowest state of consciousness. It's also a very low vibration and frequency. If you're shaming yourself, if you're tuning inward and putting yourself down, if you're criticizing yourself, if you're constantly looking at everyone else and saying, look at that person, or look at what they're doing, and I don't like them, and just living and dwelling into that ugliness, that's a low state of consciousness. So again, a high state of consciousness is going to be a mystical experience, an out-of-body experience. Now, those are very much extremes, aren't they? Low and high. There's a lot in between there, isn't there? You can be in other states of consciousness. You can have awareness, like we said. You can go into a trance. We've done that. Wow, it's really windy out there, isn't it? It's like the window's going to come fly through. It's going to come flying through. Together, we're going to get to the 5th dimension. We are going to the light together. And when we get to the light together, we're going to be communicating on another level. You're going to have powers, ionic powers. You're probably going to be able to be telepathic, telekinesis, maybe levitate, fly through the air, have supernatural powers. That's what's going to happen. When is that going to happen? I'm not quite sure, but I've had visions of it. Have you had any visions lately? All right, so let's get on to our, here's a little diagram before we get on to it, but we're going to get on to clairaudience. I want to remind you about earth, water, fire, air, and let's have gratitude. Let's have gratitude for these elements of nature. We're very lucky to have this and to be living here in this beautiful world in 2023, February 3rd, Friday in the Matrix work week. Oh, we got a fly in here. Oh, okay. So clairaudience. We're going to get right into psychic phenomenon because I don't know how much longer I can speak. I can't believe I've made it 45 minutes at this rate. Thanks for everyone who's joined me up until now. I'm sorry that I sound like this. Okay, so clairaudience. What is clairaudience? Well, it's one of our clair senses. It is clear hearing. It's our hearing. It's our ability to tune inward, to hear. And it's not just, we're so used to what we believe to be hearing. We don't ever try to reach beyond our senses because we didn't know it was possible. We just weren't told that this was a thing, but it's a thing. You can become more aware and you can start to receive information, and it's from an outside source, like I've said. And here we go. So clairaudience, the power to hear things outside the range of normal perception, what they consider normal perception. Hey, music, where is the ether in that pic? I know there's no ether here, is there? And I always say ether's like, well, ether's beyond the clouds. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to write ether. Actually, I have a Sharpie. I'm going to write ether on here. Thanks for sharing that. Let's see if this works. I need a big, thick one. Here, I got one right here. So I'm going to do ether. Let's see. Ether. There we go. There we go. Ether, beyond the clouds. See that? Thanks, music, for sharing that. You're right. Ether, that's where there's a lot of energy, a lot of power. So, this might help us. So clairaudience, clear hearing, the power to hear things outside the range of normal perception, what everyone out there considers hearing. Someone calls your name, hey, Mary, hey, you over there. Okay. And maybe because we haven't adjusted to the idea of silence or stillness or quiet, we're not really aware of how much else is going on and what we could hear if we tune in. And I've been doing this. Now, since we've been doing our clair sense psychic phenomenon activities, I've been practicing my clairaudience. And now it's coming through all day long. If I pause for a minute, I hear something, or I can ask for information. Now, we have an advantage by doing this. We have an advantage because we can start to predict events. We can be warned of some impending situation. Maybe we are delivered some kind of visual, or we're hearing something and it's telling us we should do something that's going to help us. So it's good for us. It's beneficial. So you have the ability to hear mesmerizing sounds not audible to the ear in natural waking state. I believe that all of us have these abilities. It's just that we haven't practiced them. So if you begin to practice them and you start to equate yourself and you say, you know what? I'm accepting it. I'm going to try it. You'll be surprised in time, if you stay focused on it, how much of it is going to come into your life. And then 6 months from now, you're going to say, oh, wow, I really have come far. I've really changed. This fly's on me. Go away, fly. So here's some signs. You're going to have the ability to hear from spirit, angelic beings, other worlds, dimensions, realms, maybe extraterrestrials. So what are some signs that you are capable of this? Here we go. 1, do you talk to yourself? I do. I talk to myself when no one's around. I talk to myself. And even sometimes when they aren't, because I talk myself through a situation. 2, you have a preference towards learning by listening. Now, that's not the truth of me. I learn visually. I don't learn through my hearing. I don't. I have to see it. 3, dislike of loud noises. I definitely don't like loud noises. I don't know about you. It jars me. And if there's a loud sound, it upsets me. It startles me internally all the time. Well, good for you, music. Let's see. Number 6, you like to have long periods of time alone to recharge. That's true of me. I don't know about you. These are all personal. If I say something, it might not be the same for you. Maybe some of these, maybe not all of these, maybe a few. Frequent buzzing in your ears or ringing tones. Hearing whispers or talking in the distance. Now, that's a big one for me. When I hear something, like, I'm trying to think of when this happened. Was it today? Yes, today. So I was in my job in the Matrix. And I was sitting there, and it was really quiet. And I was waiting for someone to show up for an appointment. And so I had some free time, and I just sat there. And I decided to do some psychic phenomenon on my own. And I'm sitting there, and I did it. And then it was a little alarming what happened. I heard and felt like something grabbed my throat, and it was like a big, hairy being. What are you doing here? I know what happened. I was practicing what we did last night. We went to another, we were going to another realm, and this thing came at me, and I felt it choked my throat, and it was this big hairy thing. I was like, is that Bigfoot? Like, what was that? And then I saw a rope. So I don't know. It said something to me too, mind to mind. It said, what are you doing here? So I don't know where I landed. Anyway, moving on. So I do hear information coming from it in the distance when I tune into my clairaudience, and we're going to do an exercise in just a few moments. Now, do you ever watch television or listen to the radio and you sense that some of the information is just meant for you, like personal messages come through? I know some of us say, oh, that's all about me, or oh, that's all, everything that someone says to them, if they're in a conversation, they say, oh, well, that happened to me. I'm not talking about that. I'm saying literally, you're listening to a television show, and it seems as though it's coming right to you. The information is meant for you. Has that ever happened? Good God, good guy, Bigfoot, questioning the Matrix. Yeah, I like Bigfoot. I did a lot of interviews with Bigfoot. In fact, I'm going to interview some more Bigfoot experts. I want to go on one of those Bigfoot retreats where you go for a weekend and they take you out into the deep, deep forests, and you camp there overnight, and then you wait to hear from Bigfoot. That should be exciting. All right. And then, does music inspire you? That's another sign that you have clairaudience. Does music inspire you? So we've named a few here. Look up Sasquatch Ontario channel on YouTube. Okay, Sasquatch. I'm going to write that down right now. Sasquatch Ontario channel. I have, I don't know, about 10 books on Bigfoot. I have t-shirts on Bigfoot. I have magnets with Bigfoot. And 9, you're a good listener. This is all if you have clairaudience. For the real deal. 10, you hear voices in your mind. And the last but not least, 11, you're hearing things that others cannot. So those are all signs. Those 11 are signs that you have clairaudience. Now, is it possible you have clairaudience and none of those apply to you? Yes. There's always an exception. But it might be that you're just beginning to reach beyond your abilities where you've never tapped into it. And so we're starting to tap in. So don't be alarmed or don't be deceived by that list, because you might just be beginning to be learning all about your abilities. All of us have these abilities. It's just that we haven't practiced them. We weren't given a chance. If you came from a family of psychics, you probably were nurtured, and it's something that has just happened for you naturally. But out in the regular, everyday physical reality, it's not something you are in school for or grown up around. It's more considered to be kooky. Someone who's intuitive or psychic, it's a little kooky, or it's out there. They're just crazy. People might joke about it, but it's interesting. When I've had clients, my clients are professionals. They are CEOs, and they really, truly, they paid me amazing amounts of money to do this, and they came back to me. So you'd be surprised how many believe in it, believe in their clairsenses. Craig says, yes, it feels like there's a message coming at me sometimes, hearing more than normal. I practice often, but rarely ever hear anything, and I can't explain away logic. Okay, so you practice, but rarely ever hear anything. Okay, so music. Let's do this exercise tonight, and there's got to be a reason why that's not happening for you, although maybe you have other clairsenses that are stronger. Now, everyone has at least one clairsense that they can master, probably 2 or 3. After you've mastered one, you can allow others to come through. Naturally, there's going to be certain clairsenses that just happen for you, that are easy. Like for me, it was clairvoyance, my third eye, and that just came naturally for me, and it wasn't difficult. This has been just in the last year, really. It was happening for me, but I tuned it out, so I wasn't interested in it, and now I am. All right, so let's do this before I go, because we're hitting the 1 hour mark and I'm losing my voice. I wanted to get into the chakras, but I don't think we're going to touch on that today, because I sound terrible. I sound awful, actually. So let's get into psychic phenomenon. Let's do a exercise. And I think the best idea would be for us to do clairaudience, since we spoke about that a little bit. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to just let's let out a breath. And music, we're going to get through this. We're going to figure this out. Why you haven't. You sound great as always, but please don't damage your voice. No, I can't damage my voice. That's not as easy as you think. because I did many years of speech therapy. It's more or less that I'm just going to wear myself out, but you can't damage your, I don't, you can, that's not true. You can damage your voice, but I'm not going to, because I'll just do my speech exercises and lift above it, which I will, I just have to get above it. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to relax. We're going to drop. We're going to let go of any tension in our body. I'm closing my eyes. You can choose to keep them open if you like. And we're just really going to let's just not think about anything except what we're speaking of right in this moment, and then we'll go to the next step. So let's just put all of our focus right now on relaxing our physical body, which means maybe you're tensing up your hands, your arms, your legs, letting go. And we're just really imagining that our arms and our legs and our torso, and as much as you can if you're sitting up, because when you're sitting up, it's kind of difficult to completely relax. We want to just try to relax as much, like we're like a jellyfish. How about that? Like we're just made of jelly. So everything's just dropping down. So there's no tension. Even our toes, our fingers, we want to just really relax. Sounds like honey. Anyone who's joining us, I hope you like the video and subscribe to the channel. So, I don't know, even your fingers, try to relax your fingers. Try to imagine that you're just laying on a cloud or sitting on a cloud, and you just have no tension in your body. Your ankles, your head, your face, your neck, your lips. Try to relax everything. Maybe move your neck around a little bit. And you're letting out a breath. And when we're doing this, we're dropping down so much and we're letting go so much that we are really hearing everything around us. We're hearing everything, and maybe we're hearing it in an energy. We're hearing it in a vibration. We're hearing every single bit of any nuance, any sensation. We're just relaxing to the point that all the energy around us even seems as though it's expanding. All the sounds seem louder than they really are because we're just really relaxing. So we're going to breathe in, breathe out. So our breath is relaxed. Our breathing is natural. And so maybe we feel on our fingertips some kind of energies on our fingertips. And we're pushing away any thoughts. We're not going to determine any information by our thoughts. We're only going to be collecting data from our clair senses, from our hearing right now, from our hearing. That's all we're collecting data from. We don't need our mind involved. So we're going to drop down into our senses. We're dropping down, so we're making physical contact. We're staying relaxed. If you need to let out another breath. And we're really having some focus and concentration. And we're going to go, maybe it's your right ear, maybe it's your left ear. I'd like you to really tune into and pay attention to anything that you're hearing. So as we drop down into our senses, we're tuning into our hearing, and I'm going to make a suggestion. We're surrendering to our clair senses, to our clairaudience. So are you hearing anything right now in the physical reality that you're existing in this moment? We're going to this moment. We're not going ahead. We're not behind. We're in this moment. In this moment, what am I hearing? I'm hearing a lot of sounds that are in this physical reality that I'm in right now. But we're going to reach beyond that. So we're going to be relaxed. We're dropping down, and I'm making the suggestion to tune into your clairaudience. Now, it doesn't matter which ear. Maybe try. I've been trying on my right ear. I'm going to try my left ear, and maybe I'll be at beginner phase in my left ear because I haven't been tuning in through my left ear. So I'm going to tune in through my left ear, and when I tune in, I'm having stillness. I'm going to be quiet. And I'm going to make the suggestion. I would like to receive information through my clairaudience from another realm, from another dimension. And that's the suggestion I'm making. And I'm going to be quiet. So I'm saying that's the suggestion, and I'm going to be quiet. Now, I don't know if that was enough time. I'm going to try it again because this is new. I haven't been tuning in through my left ear. Did anyone receive any information? I'm going to try it again. So what happened for me was I heard what's the idea? What idea? Where specific, what are you specifically asking? I didn't hear specific. I heard what's the idea? What idea? So I said specifically, I'm asking to hear from an extraterrestrial. Then I said angel, and then that was very confusing. So I'm going to want to tune in because it took me a while to get there. But it was nice to just have the peace and the quiet. It's nice to have peace and quiet when you're not sleeping and when you're not talking. It's nice to have quiet. So let's try it one more time, if that's okay with you, because I really want to see if I can get this to work for me out of my left ear. I know my right ear, it's easy. Let's try my left ear one more time. Okay, so we're relaxing. We're like a jellyfish. We're like a rag doll. We're dropping down, and we're tuning into our hearing. You choose one of your ears or both. It's up to however it works for you. These are my personal experiences. It might be completely different for you. I'm going to tune into my left ear and see if I receive any information. So the suggestion is we're asking to be receiving information, hearing something from another realm, another dimension, and you can choose what that is specifically. Like I was asked, what exactly are you trying to hear? What exactly are you trying to contact? Because if I'm sending telepathically information, let's see if anyone interprets that vibration and responds. That's what we're doing. Just like when you're out in the physical reality, whoever comes up to you is your vibration, is your frequency. Now, if things get hairy, if it gets hairy, that means you're operating on different frequencies. You're not communicating. They're not getting you. It goes sideways. you can kind of figure out what your vibration is by what you attract. Okay, so let's try it again. We're dropping down, we're relaxing, we're breathing naturally, and we're asking to receive information, hearing, our clairaudience, our clear hearing from another realm, another dimension. You choose. I'm choosing an extraterrestrial, an angel. Maybe that's too broad. Let's see what happens. I heard escape from. I got that very loud and clear. That's what I heard, escape from. So I don't know what that was. So that's my first effort, my left ear trying. I don't know if you received any information. So that's what I received, escape from, escape. I should write that down and keep note. Like I say, keep note of what you receive. I need to get a piece of paper somewhere. Maybe I'll write it on the back of here. So escape from. So tonight I got a recommendation of music to look at Sasquatch Ontario channel, and I will. The make escape. You know what? I can't believe you said that. That's what I heard. I wasn't going to say it. Escape from the Matrix. Yes, that's what I heard. How did you know music? I heard escape, and then I said escape from the Matrix. So maybe I'll make that a topic. I don't know. I think we're all trying to escape from the Matrix. Okay. It's funny, right? So everyone, thanks for joining us. I appreciate anyone who is here tonight. I apologize. I'm sick. I'm getting over it. I had to work this week, and so here I am. And I want good things for you. I hope everyone has a wonderful weekend. Spend time in nature. Spend time doing some fulfilling activities. Eat some yummy food. Relax. Maybe exercise. Do something fun. I'm planning on drinking some champagne and margaritas. Thank you, music. Everyone who is here tonight. Let's see who is here. Craig, music, MR. Thank you all for being here, and everyone who doesn't write in the chat, thank you. I hope you like the video and subscribe to the channel. I'll be back again on Monday at 7 o'clock, and I'm spinning light. Everyone have, oh yes, and I'm doing an interview tomorrow with Athena in Truth, and you can find that on her YouTube channel, Athena in Truth. It's a group of consciousness. It's a channeler. So I hope you join me on Monday, and also look for my inner. Sorry about that. Look for my interview on Athena in Truth. I'm spinning light. I'm done. Hey, James Hadaway. Sending you light. Thanks. A dream. What does this say? A dream in. I have too much of a reflection tonight. A dream in a dream. Fear in a fear. A matrix in a matrix. But subconscious realities, knowledge, and attainment in a higher learning to suggest experience. Well, that's wonderful. Thanks for sharing that, James Hadaway. Okay, don't tell me James Hadaway. Let's see. You're coming from, let's see, blah, 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 Scotland, UK. Thanks for joining us. I hope you like the video and subscribe to the channel. Total Eclipse of the Heart. Thanks, James Hadaway. Thanks, everyone. So I'm spinning light, and you're in the center of it, and you're making a wish. James Hadaway is one of my 11 o'clock people. Thank you, guys. I hope you liked the video, and I will be back again Monday. Again, I'll be on Athena in Truth tomorrow. You're in the center, and you're making a wish. I want good things for you. While you're put your destiny right in the palm of your hand and look at it, and close your eyes and visualize it and feel it within you, and imagine it, and it will come true. And it's not going to take 30 or 40 or 50 years. It's going to happen right now in this moment. Let's have gratitude. Bye. Did I get everybody? Did I say everything that was here? Yes. Bye.